This is my intro music. Welcome to the video. I hope you like it lots, so don't forget to subscribe and click the thumbs up button. Now let's react.
Hey, hi, hello there. Welcome to an episode of An Anthropologist Watches Foodie Beauty. Woo! I think like 3 people have requested this, so there you have it. We are going to get caught up with Foodie because Foodie has once again started a health journey, as she does. She's back in Kuwait. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, she's started this health journey and she is allowing her partner to control her. She's using inflammatory language to tick everybody off, and it's working. There you have it. A couple of things before we get too deep into this. If you hear loud noises, my neighbors upstairs are moving in. They seem to be very nice people, but it is impossible to be quiet while you are moving. So here we are. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. You guys rock. Thank you to everybody who's going to hit the thumbs up button. Thank you to the half of you that asked to see Foodie. Not my favorite person to react to, but, you know, let's distance ourselves from the person that is Foodie and just concentrate on the weirdness that is Foodie. I was watching Milk Tea Reacts live this morning, which apparently happened once every 100 years or so, which was very cool. I enjoyed it a lot. It's really neat seeing the creators that you like just kind of like chat. I know she was trying to talk about Foodie. I know that's what she was trying to do, but it was really kind of cool to just kind of have a one-on-one with her. Well, it wasn't really a one-on-one, but you get what I'm saying. My parasocial relationship with Milk Tea Reacts has been strengthened because of this live. Anyway. Somebody asked her why she had quit reacting to Amberlynn Reid, and she said because there were a bunch of different reasons, but the main reasons were that she found Foodie to be less insidious, basically. Not her words, those are my words, than Amber. And it's for the reasons that I've pointed out more than once. Amber knows what she's doing for the most part, right? I think Milk Tea said that Amber and Foodie are very similar, but Amber has more control over herself, where Foodie has these online rages, and she makes a lot of lives and a lot of videos that she ends up deleting because after the fact she gets embarrassed and she takes them off the internet. Amber doesn't care as much. I can think of a handful of videos that Amber has deleted off the internet. Like, she usually does not do that no matter how bad it makes her look. Foodie, and I think that's because when it really comes down to it, Amber kind of knows it's going to make her look bad, I guess. And so she doesn't mind that it's there because she feels like she's in control of it. Like she's the one that put it there. It was her decision. And so she's the one making the decision to keep it there. Foodie, on the other hand, Foodie loses control and doesn't realize it until after the fact. And you can see that in like her community posts. A lot of those get deleted, where she kind of goes off on somebody, like her notorious fight with either FFG or Charlie Gold, or I don't know, whoever the next person down the line is. She has like a handful of them that she rotates through. But she'll put something up, it'll be really inflammatory, everybody will jump her shit for it, and she'll try to back out of it. She'll try to double down or back out of it, and then inevitably it ends up getting deleted, and she does something like, I am Modest Miriam, and I would never do anything like that. So there you have it. And I guess, in a way, that makes Foodie more sincere. Even though Foodie is a manipulator. I don't think Foodie is as successful of a manipulator as Amber is. Or else Foodie would be in a better position than she is today. I think Foodie, in a way, is kind of trapped. Not in a isolation kind of way. Foodie's kind of done this to herself, right? This isn't somebody lured her into Kuwait and locked her down in a basement. Foodie kind of did this to herself. She's got herself in this financial position. I guess I learn a lot from watching Milk Tea because I don't know a lot about the culture over there, or like how day-to-day life is over there. And since Foodie is trying desperately to convince us that she is a convert or a revert to the Muslim religion, there's certain things that she is kind of expected to be doing and just isn't, because it's Foodie. I mean, what do you want? It's effort. So those are my thoughts on Foodie. I think, honestly, I do think since she's moved to Kuwait and since she's started trying to be Modest Miriam, I think she has changed a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit. And I think maybe she has kind of dialed it down some. She has her moments, don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. I don't watch her directly. This will be the first time in probably a year I've watched her directly. I usually only watch her through Milk Tea Reacts. So if she's not reacting to Foodie, I don't see it. And I know Milk Tea doesn't react raw to everything, especially for fucking 9 to 4 hour long live streams that she still does sometimes. I wonder how much she'll be doing that right now, because part of the arc of her coming back from, where was she? She had to border hop because she needed to re-up her tourist visa so that she could stay in Kuwait again for another, I think it's every 3 months she has to go. Where did she go? Thailand. She went to Thailand. So she had a really rough time. Foodie had a really rough time in Thailand. Her husband did not come to visit while she was there. He had to stay home for some kind of emergency or something like that. Emergency booty call. So Foodie was stuck in Thailand until whatever they have to do to get her visa re-upped happened. And then she was able to come home. So she made herself properly miserable while she was there. Anyway, part of coming home, she was like, there's a video up that says, I let my husband control me. And basically she's saying that she's going to let Salah effectively become her health coach, basically. And he has what do you call it? Veto powers over what she wants to eat. But Milk Tea has pointed out that because of the way Kuwait is set up and the way that, just women and men are so different legally in Kuwait, Foodie's not a citizen, so that also adds another layer of complications to everything. Foodie can't have a bank account there, or she doesn't have a bank account there, so all of her money from her YouTube and everything has to go through Salah's accounts. And so effectively Salah does have control of her money. It doesn't look like he's ever tried to use that in any kind of controlling way before, at least not from my end. I don't know. She's been able to travel as much as she's needed to, I guess is the word. So he doesn't, and she's been eating, well, she's eaten? Yep, she sure has. She has eaten herself into this severe health downward spiral that she's in now. So I guess my point is that Salah doesn't seem to be particularly controlling of her, even though he could be, I guess is where I'm at with that. Now, I could be interpreting that completely wrong. Maybe he doesn't have control over her money. Maybe a bunch of things are not true, but chicken butt. So yeah. So I figured we'd back up some and get caught up in real time. I want to kind of react to the health arc because I don't expect it to last for very long, but it might. I'm not going to go over her lives. I'll probably do like Milk Tea does and find a compilation that's a cut down of it, just because I don't have that kind of time, to be perfectly honest with you, and I don't like Foodie enough to sit there and do it myself. So I'm just going to rely on other people, and they are doing the Lord's work. So thank you very much. If I use your compilation, I will totally shout it out and give a link, because I am trying, since it is the new year for witches, I am trying in this new year to remember to link the videos and the sources that I'm using in my descriptions down below a little bit better than I have. So there we are. All right, that's 11 minutes of preamble. I hope the moving noises aren't too bad. Hopefully they're not even getting picked up, but they might be. All right, so this is how much do I really weigh now? I think this is her first video after she got back from Kuwait that wasn't the travel video. We're not going to watch that one. I don't really see a point to it. This is 6 days old as of today. Foodie posts a lot. So we might have a lot more foodie content on this channel than we have had in the past, but, you know, bear with me. We'll get caught up eventually. Today is October the 12th, so happy birthday to my October babies. It's still Libra season. Dang Libras. I'm a Libra rising, so there we have it. I only get like this in the fall, in the autumn, so I'm only a witch when it's cold. I'm going to speed her up. I'm going to start at 125. I may speed her up faster than that. She talks very slow. This video is about 13 minutes long. I can't think of anything else, so let's jump in.
Hello, foodie beauties.
I'm not gonna lie, I love her intro.
Well, hello there. Did you know that I can with specific location?
Too much is not good, so
Just let me know. Get yours today and don't delay.
I know too much is not good, so too much of anything is not good for anybody. That's the whole point of my lifestyle change.
Alright guys, so here's a weigh-in. Don't mind the blurring, it's just, you know, I don't want you guys to see my silhouette. The scale is reflective. I just noticed that now. But I'm just showing you guys that my scale cannot be tampered with. There's no tear option or anything like that. In the back, it's just basically where you can change the unit between pounds and kg. In the back.
I just think it's funny that her and Amber have to, like, go out of their way. She's obviously taking it further than Amber does. To be like, look guys, I can't lie about my weight, you guys. I don't care, honestly. If they want to lie about their weight, let them lie about their weight. It's not like they tell the truth about anything else, so why are you expecting them to be truthful about their weight? But I just think it's funny that they'll both go to some sort of length to prove that their weigh-ins aren't fake, right? And I guess I don't care enough, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, whatever. Even if you're lying about your weight, it's eventually going to change one way or the other, right? So there will be some fluctuation if you're losing weight. Eventually your weight will go down, but so the number you're lying about will have to get smaller at some point, I guess. But I also don't really know if they're really lying about their weight as much as people think they are. The few times that Alona from Chikara Transformations, who has magical scale eyes, the few times that she's like done a weigh-in, she's eyeballed their weight. She's usually say that, well, at least with Amber, that she's within the ballpark of the numbers that Amber's giving us, right? Foodie, I don't honestly remember too much because I can't remember the last time she tried to guess Foodie's weight. So I can't really speak to that one too much. But I do remember the last few times that she's talked about Amber's weight. It's been within the ballpark of what Amber says her weight is. And then there's Anna. Anna, who does not give us weight, and who we can clearly tell is probably pushing 600 at this point.
Battery.
Hello guys, welcome back to another video.
Yay!
So, this is going to be a weigh-in and discussion kind of video, as you saw from the opening. I did say yesterday I was going to have Salah film.
If there's a weird delay in the sound with her, there might not be, but if there is, it looks like her video actually is having a sound delay, so it's not my fault. Oh, and I do have my emotional support slime, which is the dry food from OG Slimes.
Feel me getting on the scale, but then I'm like, I just, you know, sometimes he's busy and like he's not around when I want to weigh myself, or he's still sleeping, or which was the case today when I woke up. I want to weigh myself right in the morning when I wake up and you know, have an empty stomach, and I like to do it without any, you know.
Is that a piano? Well, a keyboard? Like a piano-esque keyboard? Here? Which one of them plays piano? Is it Foodie? Foodie needs a hobby. That's her problem. She needs a hobby. She needs a hobby that's going to keep her brain busy. And her hands, probably, but mostly her brain. Take up chess. I bet she could probably do pretty well at chess. She's not Grandmaster Champion level or anything like that, but she could, like, casually play in the park.
You know, getting all dressed up and everything. So That's what I did. I weighed myself, and I showed you the scale because, you know, I'm not gonna. I don't care what haters say about.
Don't you though? What would be the point of this if you didn't care what the haters had to say?
The scale. I just wanted to show you once and for all that it can't be tampered with. There's no tar option or whatever it's called. There's no setting the scale, whatever. Okay, so weigh himself with that scale and it's accurate for him. So that's good enough for me. If it's not good enough for my haters, I don't care. Whatever, who cares? Yeah, so that's what my weigh-in is, and I'm really happy because it's going down. You know, alhamdulillah. So in Bangkok, the last time I weighed myself was on this like weird, sketchy street scale out front of 7-Eleven that you put one baht in. That's their currency there, and it was too narrow this way, and I'm like this way. So, you know, I had a hard time. I had to hang on to the back of the scale. But it was wavering between around 164 and 165 kg. So I'm not sure.
I don't know what that is in American. To be fair, she's Canadian, which is basically British light, so she's probably always used the logical weight system. Here in America, though, we prefer to make things overly complicated. Ergo, I don't know what her weight actually is. That being said, one thing I do notice with Foodie since her reversion is her adoption. There we go. Of random phrases that she just kind of drops in, and it reminds me of somebody who's like half learned a language, you know, like they've learned, like when in high school, when you took your maybe you didn't. I had to take a language class when I was in high school, and we took German because it was easy for me to do and I was lazy. Anyway, my point is we would learn little phrases here and there, and we would just use like one word because we thought we were being like cool or something like that, you know, like especially if they were funny words that don't mean what you think they did, but like merde, you know. I know that's French, but anyway, running around saying like swear words in other languages and that kind of stuff, it kind of gives me the same sort of vibe. Or it's also like when you read novels and they have a character that is supposed to be, well, I read a lot of American style novels, so because I live in America. So you got a character that's supposed to not be American. They're supposed to be some other culture, some other group. And to kind of drive that point home, the author will have that character just randomly drop in a word from whatever their native language would have been. And it's always like jarring. Because people don't talk like that. It's just not how people normally talk. But with Foodie, it kind of feels like that. It's part of the character of Miriam, and Miriam apparently uses all of these phrases, and Miriam knows the language, and Miriam understands the context of these phrases and stuff. And so I think that's part of her character, is that Miriam says these words. Foodie doesn't necessarily say them.
Sure how accurate that is, but it was probably around there because that's usually my weight when I'm not doing too well. It goes up into the 60s, 160s kg. So yeah, so for those of you who don't know, I think that's around 153 kg is about 339 pounds. So I'm around there, 339, 340. So
thank you for that.
Yeah. So what have I been doing? And I know I've been here all the time. I usually get down to the low 150s and then I go off track. So, but I have to say, guys, this time my mentality is different. Maybe this will be the time, you know, and I'm not.
Maybe this will be the time. Okay, look, every time she goes on a health journey, typically because she's had a major health scare, like the most recent one I can remember is she got diagnosed with like basically like severe anyway, she got diagnosed with really high blood sugar, like diabetic on crack levels, like oh my god, I can't believe you're alive levels. Anyway, so that scared her for a little bit, and she did what she always does, which is talk a good story and then not do anything to change. And she says the same. She will say the same thing every time she goes on whatever her next health journey is. You guys, this time my mentality is different. You guys, this time it's going to be different. And the whole like her saying, hopefully this time it'll take. The only person who has control over that, as much as you want to set Sala up so that you can blame him later, the only real person who really has control over that is her. And the fact that, and Amber does this too. Hopefully I'll wake up and I'll just be skinny one day. It's like, yeah, you're the one that has to do the work. But by using that kind of language, they're already kind of setting themselves up for failure, and they're already kind of giving themselves an out. So if things don't work, it's not their fault. It's just, it just didn't, the universe just wasn't on my side this time. Foodie's put a new layer into it by letting Sala have control, so that if something does go wrong, it will not only be, the grand universe's scheme against her, but Sala didn't do his part or something, It's just a language thing that all of the girls do. They just have this very pessimistic way of talking about these journeys, even though they're trying to convince you that they're being very optimistic about it. It really isn't. The language they're using just is very much allowing them an out for when things don't succeed. But anyway.
Not saying that there's not going to be ups and downs. There's definitely going to be downs. I'm sure, I'm ready for them though. Bring it on. Bring it on. And I feel like I don't even want to falter right now. I don't want to binge eat. I don't want to give in. I just want to keep going and doing what I'm doing. Except last night when I was laying in bed and...
Here's the thing. And Amber does this shit too, like when she's in the honeymoon phase of her diets. She's like, she's always like, you guys, I don't even feel hungry. I didn't even feel the urge to binge. I didn't even think about food this whole 3 hours that I've been on this diet. It's the same language. The problem with both of them is that they need help. They need actual help to give them new coping mechanisms, because neither of them they obviously do not have good coping mechanisms when it comes to resisting food. And they probably both have BED, binge eating disorder, and neither of them are being treated for it. And it's my understanding, I don't have it, but it's my understanding that something like BED is very much like something like chronic depression, where it's, you always have it. You're never not going to have it. So all you can really do is learn to identify it when it's happening and pick up coping mechanisms to help you deal with it when it's occurring, right? So I know there are people, I know with BED, I mean, there's people who are like, yeah, I've been diagnosed, but I haven't had a binging episode in like years, kind of a thing. Sam at Every Size is one of them that talks about her BED, and Beatrice Caruso talks about her BED. And both of them have been binge free for, I think Beatrice said it's been a year, and I don't remember what Sam's is at, but Sam's has been a few years. I think 3 years, I want to say. Don't quote me on that, but I feel like that's the last number I was given. Anyway, my point is those are two people who are open about it and who have mentioned that they got treatment for it, and because they got treatment for it, they have been binge free for X number of years, right? Our girls here, they don't have any coping mechanisms, and they've never sought long-term effective treatments. So like if they go a week without binging, that's kind of a good, I mean, that's doing good for them, but it's not treating it. It's not teaching them how to get over it. It's not helping them cope with it. And so when it hits, again, I don't have it, but when it does hit, either they don't recognize it when it's happening, or they don't have a way of pulling out of it, like a depression cycle. Sometimes you can catch it and you can kind of like, not yank yourself completely out of it, but kind of like, mitigate it, I guess is the word I'm going for here. So I figure it's kind of similar, but there we have it.
We were going to sleep. I kind of had this like little feeling that, thinking of all the cheese in my fridge and all the food I could go eat, food I could make, whatever I have in my house, I would find something. And then I thought, no, like, no, 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 no. Just tell yourself no. You're not gonna. It didn't last long, and it wasn't very intense. So alhamdulillah for that as well. So what I'm kind of doing, I don't even want to label it. I'm just aiming for no binge eating, and eating. I don't know, like eating less, I guess. Eating less. I'm not totally depriving myself. Although I haven't eaten any junk food. I still have my one chocolate bar. The other one was finished over a few days. So this one is still there. I haven't had any yet. I haven't been craving chocolate. So when I have a chocolate craving.
Here's the thing. If she was really serious about this, she'd be getting help. Alright? Just because she hasn't had a bad... Because her saying that, oh, it wasn't bad, talking about her craving the night before, means that when it does get bad, again, going back to she doesn't have any coping mechanisms, she doesn't have a way of pulling out of that. And so whose job is it going to be when she starts having these really bad cravings where she just becomes a monster? Whose job is it going to be to pull her out of that? Is it going to be her responsibility, which it should be, or is she going to blame Sala for not fixing her binge craving? I don't know. Right? So this is what I'm talking about, where she's setting Sala up to take the blame for her actions. Because in the end, Foodie's not going to take responsibility for it, even though she says she will. And she, like Amber, will find some way to throw her partner under the bus because she's given him the responsibility of helping her lose weight. I just don't see it ending well. But you know,
I'll just have a couple squares of that, maybe like a row.
I guess my other point was if she was really getting help for this, and if she was really doing well, and if she was really having, working on coping mechanisms, she wouldn't have foods like chocolate in the house, which appears to be a trigger food for her, which I don't know a lot about trigger foods, but it does seem like it's one of those things, like, if you have low self-control around it, like, I don't know, me and donuts, you just don't keep donuts around, because that way you can't eat them if they're not there. And if I have to put clothes on and go to the store and put my shoes on and drive or walk to the store to go get a donut, it's probably not going to happen because I'm lazy.
Anyway, so I've just been like eating. The formula I've been doing is eating 3 meals and 1 snack. So at night, like when we watch a movie together, I'll usually have like a small miniature size bag of potato chips, and I've only been drinking water, no diet soda, no regular soda. I've been eating satiating meals, and I've been eating in between those like sometimes I like to include some fruit. So sorry, I've been eating 3 meals, 1 like kind of junky snack at night, just a small one, and I have some fruit. Like if I'm really craving something sweet, or I'm kind of hungry in between, I'll have like some fruit.
I mean, it's not the worst thing she could be doing.
So I have a lot of fruit, grapes, banana, which is nice because the bananas are not going to go bad. I'm not going to have to like chuck them in the bin. I hate wasting food. It really makes me feel bad. So yeah, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to have for lunch today. I'm gonna put a bit of hot sauce. So I have here some tuna with some mayo, yellow mustard, a whole bunch of fresh dill, I love it, black pepper, and I'm gonna put a bit of hot sauce on there.
I love tuna salad. Love it.
By the way, this is my hot sauce. There's still plenty.
It's my understanding that hot sauce has like few to no calories, so like go nuts kind of a thing. It's like yellow mustard. It doesn't really have calories. I mean, it has, obviously everything has calories, but the calorie count is so low on it that it's just kind of like go nuts. If it helps you eat better, go nuts. I just always thought that about. No, I can see if it was like a spicy mayo or like a spicy cream sauce, because then it's not the spice, it's the mayo and the cream. Obviously, that just looked like it was just normal, like a sriracha style, or even kind of like my Red Hots, my fake Mike's Red Hot sauce that I get from Aldi, which is better, by the way. All these off-brand Red Hot sauce, I think tastes better than the brand it's ripping off. But anyway, that's me.
And we're gonna mix that.
Mix.
I give my cat a little bit because yesterday she guilt tripped me.
not give your cat... A, don't give your cat people food, and B, don't give it to him after you put hot sauce on it. That's rude.
I don't give her much, just a little bit. I know too much is not good, so too much of anything is not good for anybody. That's the whole point of my lifestyle change, is just to try to be more moderation, you know. Okay, so we have some tuna. I have some of this stuff here left over. So it's like a mixture of cucumber, parsley, tomato, red onion, and this like feta cheese mixture.
That sounds good. Is that like there's a word for that? There's a name for that dish. Sounds good though. I like that kind of stuff.
I have some pita chips. And I've
Okay, you were doing good until the pita chips, but whatever.
been eating this. This is like one of my favorite things. It's so good. So yeah, I'll just...
To be fair, you could just eat the tuna salad. Like, you don't need the pita chips, and you probably have all the carbs that you're going to need right here in this thing here, because you've got, what'd she say, cucumbers, tomatoes, onions. You throw a bell pepper in there, you know, and it's kind of like, I think that's all really the carbs that you'll need, especially since she's eating fruit. But, you know.
Have a bite with you guys. So I just kind of take the veggies and like that, and beauty bite, bismillah. So for breakfast,
Don't get me wrong, the crunch of those pita chips is very satisfying. I understand that part. I like to use rice cakes because they're crunchy. So I understand wanting to use the pita chips because they're crunchy.
I've had, usually what I've been having is just like, I had today a slice of multigrain toast, and I put a little bit of butter on it. I put some scrambled egg with cheese on it, and I made some homemade potatoes. That's all I had. And then I had a bit of mango. Now I'm having this. So for dinner, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to make, but I took out some ground beef, and I'm thinking that I'm going to make meatballs, like kofta, and eat it with like rice or something like that.
I love kofta.
And some salad. So yeah, I'm just trying to eat, you know, like a normie when it comes to food. Basically somebody whose hormones work properly when it comes to, you know, hunger regulation.
I don't know if I know the answer to this. I know she's had a hysterectomy. I know she basically had the same procedure that Amber had. Why is she taking some form of estrogen, since she mentioned hormones? Also, I don't buy the hormone argument, honestly. I understand that hunger hormones are a thing, but I just don't buy it. I don't buy the whole like, oh my god, my female hormones are so out of whack, you guys. I totally can't lose weight because my hormones won't let me lose weight, you guys. Hormones totally won't let me. No, it's calories in, calories out. Yeah, your hormones are out of whack, but maybe did you think they're out of whack because, like, you're fat? Isn't, like, adipose tissue, like, incredibly hormonally active, and it, like, produces estrogen at, like, a crazy rate? Anyway.
Somebody who's not obsessed with food, doesn't have an issue with food addiction, food eating disorder, somebody who just can eat just to live, and, you know, is moderate about their pleasure with food.
That's my other thing. Why isn't she on Ozempic or some kind of GLP-1 or something similar? Why isn't she on one of those? Because the research is really showing that that helps immensely with like food noise and food addiction and impulsive behaviors around food. So like, if she really is trying to like curb all of that, and she really does believe that her hormones are the issue, the GLP-1s affect the hormones. Like they affect ghrelin and that kind of stuff. So why not get on that? Or is she one of the people that had like a really bad reaction to it, and so she had to come off of it? Also, she's like diabetic. So why isn't she on one of the diabetic controlling, one of the diabetes medicines that's basically a GLP-1, right? I can't think of the name of the one that I'm thinking of. It starts with an M. I don't know. Anyway, my point is why isn't she on any of those medications? Because they would do the thing that she's claiming she wants to do, to silence the food noise, to let her not constantly be thinking about food. It'll help her feel full so she won't constantly be hungry. You know? I don't understand.
So that's basically what I'm doing right now. we do have the treadmill coming, so that will be, we're not going to put it in the bedroom, because if we wait for the bedroom to be cleared out, like, never gonna happen. So we just don't have, like, we don't have storage or closets here, so the spare room is kind of where we keep our things. So I'm going to Salah's going to rearrange the couches in the living room, and we plan on putting the treadmill here facing the ocean, so that I can face the ocean when I'm using the treadmill. That will be really nice. It's like peaceful and calming, I don't know. So that's the plan. So that will be coming soon. Then, yeah, I plan on moving more when that comes. Not just when that comes, but I didn't want
I was gonna say, why are we waiting? Why are we waiting? Go for a walk.
to incorporate too much exercise right now, because I don't want to get overwhelmed with the new lifestyle change. I'm trying to do kind of like one change at a time kind of thing. And then I'll incorporate,
that makes sense,
like more of an exercise routine.
Honestly, the food is the issue, so her focusing on getting her eating habits under control before she starts trying to introduce exercise is probably not the worst idea. Foodie's one of those people that she's at a weight where she could just drop weight like mad if she just was careful about what she was eating. You know, she could probably lose weight eating 2,000, 2,500 calories a day still. You know, she's not at the point where she needs to start cutting below 2,000. I hope she's not trying to do that, because that's something that her and Amber both do. They're like, oh my god, I'm going to go to a 1,200 calorie diet, you know, and of course it never works because it doesn't keep them full. And it doesn't even like scratch the itch for them, because they're just so used to more food. I mean, I'm not saying they won't lose weight, and Dr. Now sure as hell will put people on like a 1,200 calorie diet and they will drop weight like mad, but when you're not being medically supervised and, you know, it's just hard to do. 1,200 calories, even Dr. Now will tell his patients, like, it's not permanent. It's just to get you to the weight you need to be so we can have the surgery, and also to prove that you're serious about this, you know, kind of a thing. So, I don't know.
In the future, and it will probably be like, instead of doing 30 minutes all at once, I'll probably break it up into like sections, because that's just so much easier. But I've been doing like,
because you're so busy you couldn't work out for 30 minutes straight? I don't get that part. I mean, yeah, take multiple, they have shown that like doing little walks multiple times throughout the day, like a 10 or 15 minute walk multiple times a day, is good for you, but so is sustained exertion through exercise. So I don't know. Again, I'm not against the idea where she's saying she's going to hold off introducing too much exercise all at once, because again, she overwhelms herself anyway. Don't get me wrong, it's not like I think this is going to last more than a week, but here we are. This is 6 days old. I think she's already doing better than Amber, so,
you know, vigorous housework, cleaning things I never really cleaned before, you know. So I've been doing a lot of, you know, bending and lifting and or mopping and stuff like that, and just like trying to keep the home really clean, cleaning a lot of the kitchen because I've been cooking more. So, and you know, I know these are all normie people things, like I said, normies, because for me it's hard, like this lifestyle change. So yeah, somebody, you know, with depression and like limited mobility before I get tired, it's just very hard to keep up with these things sometimes. So, but yeah, that's what I've been keeping busy with. And yeah, so between normal life things and just doing content and live streams and, you know,
you cannot tell me that in Kuwait she doesn't have access to some kind of mental health. And she's right. She's right. When you're depressed, like, one of the last things you're thinking about is cleaning your house and that kind of stuff. It's the unfortunate cycle of depression. Again, it's not like she has anything to do all day aside from cook and clean. I don't even think Salah expects that much out of her, to be honest. So, go to the doctor. Make some mental health appointments. Go to a doctor. Have them help you out. Like, you might benefit a lot. Not only from visits, because I know she can probably afford it. So she could probably benefit a lot, not only from one-on-one visits where she can just have some talk therapy with somebody, but also, like, that's the first step to getting medicated. And that helps a lot of people. And it doesn't even have to be a forever kind of thing. It's just a thing that helps you like think clearly for the first time in however many decades. Like that's kind of the thing. And once your head's on straight, you can kind of work your way around everything else, right? So I don't know. I just don't understand why. And Amber's the same way, but I think Amber does it just honestly to be infuriating. Amber uses her illnesses, whether they're real or not, she uses them as shields and excuses. And if she went and got help for them, then she wouldn't have those things to weaponize against her audience anymore. I don't watch enough Foodie. I'm imagining she probably does the same thing. But if she's really serious about getting better, which, you know, she goes through these phases, it would help these phases last longer too. Because she'd be talking to somebody who could help her through the binge cycles, you know, like the binge cravings and that kind of stuff. Even then, maybe some of the medications could even help her curb those the impulses to binge, right? Because it's got to be an imbalance in the brain or something like that. And once you get the brain balanced out, or at least as close to balanced as it's going to get, you can work on other things, right? It's kind of like with the weight loss. You got to lose the weight first, then you can figure everything else out. I don't know. These are just I'm not pointing these out because I think Foodie's going to do these things. Like, Foodie's as bad as Amber. If she's breathing, she's lying. So I'm not like, oh, Foodie, you got your shit together this time. I'm just saying, if she really was serious about this stuff, she, like all of the girls, you know, the 3 that I cover, really. Actually, all of them. Rodriguez, April Lauren, Anna, Amber. Those are pretty much everybody I cover. They all have the time, they all have the money, and they all have the access to get mental help, right? But they refuse to do it. Anna won't do it because she refuses to admit that she's depressed when she's, I mean, in my opinion, that's probably the first step. This one admits it and admits that she has issues, but won't go to the doctor. I think she's terrified of doctors, personally. Amber won't go because, again, it will take away her excuses and her shields and her weapons. April won't do it, I think, because she's Mormon, honestly. Because April won't even admit that she's depressed half the time until well after the fact. Alexandra Rodriguez, I don't cover her enough, so I'm not really sure what her motivation is, but I'm sure it's something very similar to April's, April and Anna, where she just refuses to admit that she's got an issue. And it's everybody else's problem, it's not hers, right? So I guess my point is I'm not saying this stuff because I think she's going to actually change. I think in her head, she thinks she's going to try to change, but that's the problem with Foodie, is like she gets ahead of herself and she overthinks and she sabotages herself. She's not like Amber, where she plans to fail. Amber plans to fail. Amber sets off knowing that she's going to fail. Like, she plans for it. I think Foodie truly believes that she's going to change this time and then doesn't do it correctly, and she self-sabotages. I could be wrong. This could all just be performative, and she's just manipulating the audience because this is how she makes her money. But I don't know. Milk Tea said something. Somebody posted in Milk Tea's chat, and Milk Tea repeated it and kind of pointed out that, like, we're going into the high earning months here on YouTube, because from like November until right after Christmas, it's like double the money. The advertisers put double the money into their ads on YouTube than they do throughout the rest of the year. And her views skyrocket when she's showing her ass, basically, when she's throwing a fit or having a moment or calling people out or picking fights or just in general being messy on the internet. And so somebody was pointing out that Sala may be in control and he may be like helping her rein her shit in, but if he likes the money she's making, he's going to have to let her go off a few times because that's how she makes bank. And going into these high earning months, she's going to want to do it at least once a month, right? So I guess we're due for a breakdown, but in all honesty, we're due for a breakdown anyway. That's just part of her cycle. She has these breakdowns pretty frequently within her various cycles, but anyway.
Everyday life stuff and planning meals and cooking more, it's keeping me pretty busy. So yeah, so I just wanted to update you guys with that. On my weight, I will keep regular updates throughout. I did do an accountability cheese check last night on my live stream, showing all the cheese I had left, which was quite a bit, barely made a dent in that big order of cheese. Maybe I'll buy less next time.
That wasn't entirely truthful. That's a face to freeze on too, sorry.
Because whenever, like I said in my live stream last night, whenever you don't eat as much and you eat like normal portions, you find that you have so much food. So I think I realized that I just consume way too much and I don't really need all this stuff. So that's good, because that also saves money on grocery bill, and you can put that towards other things, you know. So yes, so I'm really enjoying so far. I'm feeling really, you know, gung-ho about it, and like, yalla, let's go. Like, I feel undefeated, you know. So yes, that's about it, I guess. I just wanted to give you a weigh-in update, and I hope you're all doing very well today. And I will see you guys in the next video. I'm gonna eat my lunch. Bye, guys.
Bye. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Here's the thing with Foodie. I don't follow her too closely, but when I do see her cook, her food looks good. Like that, whatever you want to call it. There's a name for it. Anyway, the little relish thing that she made there with the cucumber and the tomato and the onion, that looks good. And it sounds good with a little bit of feta cheese and probably like some vinegar and oil in it. I mean, that sounds really good. Not so much the dill. I'm not a dill fan. Same thing with the tuna salad. There's nothing in that tuna salad other than the dill that I wouldn't put in my own. I'd actually add a few things to it just because that's how, I mean, I put relish in mine. That's just how I was taught to make it, and that's how I like it. Sometimes you chop up a hard-boiled egg and toss it in there too. Just how I like it. Just the way I like it. So when I see Foodie cook, it usually looks pretty good. I know people go after her for a cookie, but like when I see her cook, it doesn't look bad. It always looks like decent. Anyway, I guess on the side of optimism, I hope Foodie does get her shit together, and I hope this is the magical time that everything clicks, and, you know, I wish her well on her health journey and all that good stuff. Anyway, yeah, I hope you guys liked this. We're gonna get caught up on the rest of them. And because she doesn't have too many out right now. Yeah, this is, we just watched this one. Why is it saying 7 days when it says 6 when I watch it? Oh well, who cares? So we'll watch this one next. We'll watch this next. Cheese check what's left. Again, if cheese is your trigger, just don't keep it in the house. And then I definitely want to watch this run from fat to fit, 6-pack incoming. Here's a problem with Foodie. When she's not being absolutely horrible, I kind of think she's funny, right? But she is absolutely horrible sometimes. And so it's like, I feel bad for thinking she's funny sometimes. But anyway, my point is we've got, what, 3 more videos to get through. So if you guys are enjoying this, let me know. If you've made it this far in the video, go ahead and put your favorite piece of furniture in the chat for my neighbors who are moving in. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Pretty much all I've got. So this is just us dipping our toe back in again. This is her starting the beginning of a cycle. So there's not a whole lot of drama yet, but there will be. There will be. And I will see everybody in the next one. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. Thank you to everybody who's going to hit the thumbs up button. And I'll see everybody next time. Bye!
This is my outro music. You can't copyright strike me because it's just me singing. This is my outro music. Thank you for watching. See you next time.